the Queen Elizabeth II, a name that is absolutely known around the world as one of the most famous cruise ships out on the water. Now, this ship was built and launched in my home city of Glasgow, and I cannot wait to show you what it now looks like. The ship left service back in 2008, at which point it began a voyage from Southampton in England out to Dubai to become a floating hotel after being acquired by the investment arm of the Dubai government. Now in this video today, I'm going to show you what does this floating hotel look like, and does it really live up to the expectation of being a luxury floating hotel in one of the most impressive cities in the world. Stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now for anyone that might be new here, I'm Fraser and I'm going to be spending the next, about 9 months living out on cruise ships. Now that brings me to where I am today, which is Port Rashid in Dubai, and the hotel, or the ship that I'm going to be staying in this week, is incredibly different to all of the other ones that I'm going to be looking at this year. Now this behind me right now is the Queen Elizabeth II, or the QE2, which is a floating cruise ship hotel out here in Dubai. Now this ship doesn't actually go anywhere, it remains constantly docked at all times, and you can come on and stay for a night, or you can stay for a week, or however long you want. Now in this video I am ultimately going to take you guys on, show you what my experience is like staying on the QE2. So we're going to kick off with a quick room tour. If you want to see a full ship tour, then there's going to be a separate video coming to my channel soon, so make sure that you head over and have a look for that. But I'll take you into the room, give you a look round, and then over the course of the next 48 hours, which is how long I'll be on board, I'm going to show you what I get up to. Now, location-wise, if you've ever been to Dubai before, then the location of Port Rashid is a little bit out of the way. You're probably about a 20-minute taxi from the Burj Khalifa here, so you're slightly further up from a lot of the attractions. But that said, you are docked on a floating hotel, so it can't exactly be in the middle of the city centre, so you need to adjust your expectations if you are expecting that. However, when you're in Dubai, Uber is so easy, and there's a couple of other taxi apps that you can use. So in terms of location, absolutely no problem at all. Now, if you are cruising from Dubai and you're looking at staying here before getting onto your ship, then, I mean, for one of the cruise ports, it's directly on the other side of the ship. So you're pretty close for that, and the other one, you're again about 20 to 25 minutes away. So look, enough talk for now. Let's get onto this ship, have a quick look at the room, and then yeah, I'll show you what the next couple of days look like on board. Okay, now just before we head in, I wanted to come out and show you something that caught me particularly off guard about this ship. Now you can see in the background at the moment, the actual ship hotel is running along the top, but in front of it there's a really modern, really impressive actually, custom built reception area. Now in there you've got, and I will take you in and show you in a little bit more detail now, but you've got a museum which looks at everything that has been brought out of the QE2. So in there you'll find like the ship flags, you'll also find like the wheel that was initially on the ship. It's really, really impressive actually. So I thought for whatever reason when you got here, this would just be the floating hotel, but instead it's a floating hotel with a full, I guess, like museum centre. And that to me is great to see, because I was a little bit worried that when obviously the government here acquired this ship, it would become very, very, I guess, non-British, and it would sort of lose a bit of our history. But it's really, really good to see that they are trying to preserve that and trying to show the world what this ship once was. But yeah, look, let me take you in, let me show you around quickly, and you can, I guess, get a bit of a feel for what I'm talking about. And yeah, we'll then catch up as we're getting onto the ship. Okay, so you can probably tell we're now on the ship and I'm coming to you from my cabin or hotel room on board. Now, one thing that I always find frustrating when I'm booking a cruise, or actually when I'm booking a hotel on land as well, is when you're on booking.com, hotels.com or the hotel website and it asks you what type of room you want. Now, quite often, I can then find myself picking between 5, 6, 7, 8 different room types with, to be honest, not a great deal going on in between them. So I quite often actually struggle to pick the exact type of room that I want based on what I'm trying to get out of a hotel. Now, this hotel is absolutely no exception to that, and there's actually 11 different room types that you could pick from on here, which, yeah, I think when you look at some of them, they are very, very close together. Now, the room that I'm going to give you a look at today is called a superior room, which from that 1 to 11 scale is room number 2. So you begin with a classic room, you then move up to a superior room, which essentially means that you've got a bit of a working space and you've got multiple windows to look out, which you will see as I walk you around. Now, one thing that I did want to mention in these rooms, which I really, really like actually, is the fact that it comes with what is very like a daily schedule on a cruise ship. Anyone that's followed the channel for a while will know that I absolutely love getting on a ship and having a look at what's going on every single day. And on here it's exactly the same, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this, but it's called the the QE2 Telegraph. And on here, it begins by kind of welcoming you on board. You've got a little bit about the complimentary shuttle bus that will take you into Dubai if you're interested in that. You then move over and you've got, so this is what the inside looks like here. So there's actually quite a lot going on at any one time. So in here from a dining point of view, you've got what the Lido, the Golden Lion, the Queen's Grill, the dinner buffet, the pavilion, and in-room dining, but we probably won't count that as a restaurant. But you've got 5 different venues that you could go to for various types of food. Activity-wise, they do a tour of the ship. They've got a theatre on here. There's a pool and a gym, which I'm going to show you guys in the full ship tour in the other video. There's then a hair salon. Yeah, there's actually a lot. I'm actually very impressed that there's this much going on what is quite a small hotel in Dubai. Now, let me come off of this now and let me cut to a quick tour of this room to give you a feel for what the cabin could be like. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to give you a full ship tour in this video because at the end of the day, that's not what you're here for. You're on to see what the experience of staying on here is like. Now, what we'll do after that room tour is we'll grab some food and, yeah, show you a couple of other bits of what you can get up to. Okay, now, I specifically wanted to start this part of the video out in the corridor, not to advise you on the kind of thing I usually would, which is like noise when the ship's at sea, because obviously if you stay in this hotel, it's not going to be sailing anywhere because it's fully docked. More to give you a bit of a feel for the sort of age of the ship and how it feels when you actually walk down the corridor, because this isn't a, you know, a glitzy, fancy yacht that you're staying on. This is a ship that's been through decades and decades of service. So if you're wanting a yacht, you have to go and stay elsewhere. I can't stress that enough, because you will be disappointed here. If you're looking for a really historic ship that's really important to our heritage, then absolutely you need to consider a stay on this. Now, there's nothing in here that I think is different at all, really, to a conventional cruise ship cabin. You'll see when you walked in there, you had a little dressing area on the left-hand side. You're now in the main bedroom area, which, to be honest, follows a pretty typical setup of having the bed on one side, TV at the other, and then the workstation on the far side. Now, this room can be booked with a sea view or a city view. So, depending on what side of the ship you want to be on, you'll pay a slightly different price. So, the sea view rooms tend to be just ever so slightly more expensive. Now, what I'll do is I'll spin the camera around and show you exactly what you can see out of those windows, because it really is quite special actually, with even just silly things like the colour of the water that you're able to see when you're somewhere like Dubai is just an absolute treat from a ship like this. Now obviously the rooms on the other side of the ship would be looking out at, it says city view, they're probably looking out onto the main terminal building. The only thing to be aware of is that there could be a bit of noise there just due to construction and general goings on. Now, this is the QE2 Telegraph, which I guess is like the daily schedule. It shows you what's going on in and around the hotel at any one time. Now, this is a document that I walked you through in the video a second ago. I did want to just give it a flick here though, so that if you wanted to pause and have a quick read, then yeah, you're more than welcome to do so at this point. This, to be honest, is one of my favourite things about this room. The fact that it gives you all the dining options, all of the activities. It also tells you about free shuttles and whatnot, all on a kind of welcome leaflet, is, in my opinion, absolutely perfect. Now, next up, any British people watching this video will be delighted to know that you get tea and coffee making facilities in the room. You also get bottled water, which is a real plus when you're staying abroad. Now, moving over, what I will do is give you a quick insight to the bathroom here, which, to be honest, for a relatively old ship, this room didn't feel as though it had been renovated too much. The bathroom felt great, to be honest. The bathroom was much more what I would expect from like a chain hotel. So I would say in here, it didn't feel as though it had much personality in here. I think I've seen pretty similar types of things in like Novotels in London, for example. So yeah, not a great deal of history, but that's just because I would imagine that they've renovated that fully, whereas the bedroom, they've probably started to do it, but not fully finished. So yeah, that's a quick spin around a superior room on the QE2. Okay, so if you're anything like me and you find the history of these ships absolutely fascinating, then you'll definitely want to check out what's called the Traveller's Cove Onboard. Now, in the room that I'm walking around right now, it's basically the Onboard Museum that's got pretty much everything in it. You'll find on here like all of the gifts that the ship received when it entered the ports for the first time. You'll find the dinner menus from the first time it hit the ocean. It's really remarkable to take a walk around here and just get a bit of an understanding. So there's even like the picture here of the Queen when the ship was unveiled in Glasgow. It's just amazing to walk around here and get a little bit of a feel for the amount of history that's gone on inside this ship and actually understand what this ship's been through. But hey look, I'm going to cut and show you some of the stuff that you can see in this museum part of the ship, and yeah, I'll see you when we get back out. Okay guys, I have just got back from being out for the night and I thought I would go and get my camera because I usually quite like doing ship tours and shooting footage at night because, yeah, there's no one else really around on the ship. However, this one's actually been really strange and actually quite eerie. There's entire parts of this ship that are open, but it's quite clear the renovation work is still ongoing. So you can see behind me at the moment, right, this is obviously one of the old main dining rooms or one of the restaurants from Queen Elizabeth II. And if I take you in here, you'll be able to see just how strange this is. It almost feels that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's ghosts on here, but it's almost that way where I actually want to just watch back this footage and see if there's anything in the background, because right now we are in a completely empty main dining room or restaurant, and the really weird thing is it doesn't stop here. to the point where I'm actually really quite surprised. The camera's really struggling to see where my head is at the moment. I'm actually really surprised that they've opened this as a fully functioning hotel right now. The bits that they have done seem to be really good quality and they seem to work really, really well. But if I take you upstairs, and show you what's up here, it definitely is a really strange thing to find at this time of night, because I now suddenly feel as though I'm staying on, well, a bit of a different ship. That door open and give me a fright. A bit of a different ship to what I thought initially. So basically up here, you've got two separate ends, where in here you have like what is essentially a lounge, which is all closed off. And then over here at the other side, you have got a restaurant, which used to be, I think it's the Queen's Grill it's called, and that is also all shut off. Now on the wall behind me, to add to the eeriness, we've got a portrait of the Queen Mother. So yeah, I expected to come here and be totally blown away, a little bit like the floating hotel in Scotland that is just such high quality. But you come here and I'm actually going to go back downstairs because it actually doesn't quite feel right up here. Yeah, the quality I think will be there eventually with this one, but it just surprises me that in a city like Dubai, they would open it while it's still definitely a work in progress. But yeah, I'm going to shoot round and continue filming some bits, and yeah, we'll cut this here. Okay, so going back to my earlier point about things not feeling quite right on here. Now, I've just come down to one of the other decks, and you can see here there's basically an entirely what looks like closed shop window. Now, this is the shopping arcade, which historically would have been where the shops and the duty free would have been on the QE2. And on here at the moment, again, it feels as though we just shouldn't be in this part of the ship. So you've got all the shops are shut, the shutters are down. I'll be so intrigued to see what they do with this, because it is a beautiful space. Now you can see there's curtains there, which I'm going to put a little like overlay on this video to show you a front view of what we're looking at right now. But this curtained area looks down into what I think is like the main ballroom on the ship, and it's a really, really impressive space. It just feels I don't know, abandoned is strong. It doesn't feel abandoned, but it certainly doesn't feel as though, you know, we should be wandering around, because to be honest, they've obviously started refurbishing it. So there are some bits here where back there's like a duty free from Dubai, which that definitely wouldn't have been on the QE2 historically, so that's been added. But yeah, it feels as though it's been kind of done up and then paused for whatever reason. Now, there are some other bits on the ship which I will show you. I'm not sure where they'll fall in the video, but there's other bits like the spa, like the hair salon, that are, again, totally closed off. And, well, not even closed off, they're just empty. A bit like this, where we're currently in a situation where it's just shop after shop with the shutters down, with nothing inside. So, again, I think this will look fantastic in a few years from now, but there's not even any evidence that they're doing building work on this. It just feels as though someone has locked up the ship and, yeah, kind of left it for a bit. So this part doesn't feel quite as creepy as what upstairs did, but this part probably just feels a bit more, like, sad, because it's got so much potential. I can't stop saying that, but yeah. Anyway, let's get upstairs to probably the more finished parts of the ship. So I'll move on now and talk to you guys about the food on board. Okay, so there's a couple of different dining venues if you're coming on to the QE2. First up is the Lido restaurant, which is the restaurant that we're going to look around today. You've then also got the Queen's Grill, which was on that closed floor, so apparently it's open, I just didn't see it at any point during my stay over 2 nights. There's also the Pavilion, which is a deck down from here, which is more sort of casual dining that you can do out on the back deck. And then you've also got in-room dining as another alternative option as well. However, what I wanted to do today was focus on ultimately where I actually managed to eat, which was in the Lido restaurant, or the main sort of buffet style setup on board. Now, one thing that caught me, I'm not sure why it caught me so off guard, but one thing that caught me very much by surprise was just how similar this is to a real world cruise ship buffet restaurant. This could be on any modern cruise ship. I think I probably expected it to feel a little bit more a la carte, being a big premium hotel in Dubai. But yeah, I'm not sure how enamoured I am by the buffet concept. I guess if you want that, then great. But from what I saw, the majority of Dubai hotels seem to operate on a more a la carte basis than this. Now, anyway, what I wanted to leave you with was a quick fly around a typical dinner service. Now, what I got on film here was pretty much every single bit of countertop that had food on it available. So this will give you a pretty decent idea, actually, of if you're planning to come for dinner on the QE2, what should you actually be expecting to see available to you. Now, I'll stop talking and let you just have a look around here, and I'll speak to you again in a couple of minutes. So now up on the top deck of the ship, and one thing that I did expect when I booked this hotel actually was being able to have the luxury of chilling out on a sun lounger on the top deck of a ship. Now, given the fact that Dubai is pretty much, well, I mean, I guess it is a desert city, I was really surprised to find out that, as you can see behind me at the moment, the top deck isn't exactly finished yet. Now, what that means is that there isn't a pool outside because that's currently under maintenance. There aren't any sun lounges up here, and actually quite a lot of the outside space in this hotel or on this ship is actually closed at the moment, which, yeah, was really disappointing to see. Now, again, in terms of potential, this could be absolutely stunning because you are surrounded. I mean, I'm looking out at these boats that must be worth, I mean, I have no idea, multiple millions anyway. You've got beautiful condos and apartments going in, so there's a lot of money coming into this area, which to sit up here with a cocktail would be an absolute dream. But again, I feel like I'm saying it quite a lot in this video, not quite yet. I think in a couple of years' time, this is going to be really, really special and really quite something to visit if it's done right. At the moment, there's a lot of evidence of obviously quite severe wear and tear on the railings. You can see behind at the moment that the deck is all covered in tape, and as I say, around the other side it's actually still fully shut. So yeah, hopefully the outside here is done up to the same sort of calibre and quality as the reception and the museum area, because that would be fantastic. Okay, next on the list to look at on here is the pool and the gym area. Now, what they've actually done is they've managed to keep the original pool, which what really surprised me about that is it's actually in the basement of the ship, so all the way down, potentially even below the waterline actually. Now, it's a 9 metre pool, and then they've got a kind of wraparound gym area that goes down both sides of that pool. Now, let me know in the comments if you would use a pool like this. I'm going to take you down, give you a quick walk round. I think there's people in there at the moment, so I can probably only show you some parts of it. But yeah, let me know, would you work out in here? Or would you, like me, just leave that kind of thing to the experts? Okay, so I guess that gives you a bit of a feel for what life on board the QE2 as a hotel guest could actually look like. Now, personally, would I recommend this hotel? Now, I have warred back and forth a couple of times about what to say to you guys on this one, and I genuinely think that the concept of this ship and everything that this ship will be, I need to put my glasses back on because it's so bright, everything this ship will be is absolutely fantastic. However, do I think it's quite there yet? The answer to that right now is no. I think there's just a little bit too much at the moment that's outstanding, where you can quite clearly see that some of the rooms have been refurbished, some of them haven't really been done to the full standard. The swimming pool on the top deck is still under construction or under maintenance. There's a couple of dining rooms that aren't finished yet, and yeah, it kind of feels a little bit unfinished right now. So I think this will be stunning, it will be so romantic, it will be so beautiful when the ship is finished and also when the area all around is finished. So it looks as though there's some sort of master plan where they're going to be surrounding the QE2 by luxury villas. They're attracting a lot of money here. I mean, if you look over here at the moment, there's a lot of money coming in with these sort of super yachts right now. So if more of them come, then this area is really, really going to become a bit of a destination in itself. But for now, I guess, yeah, good to see. It's got real potential, and I really hope that they continue to do what they've been doing up until now, because it looks really, really promising. But yeah, it's not anywhere near being kind of fully finished and being up to 5-star standards yet, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess that's enough from me today. So my next video, I am going to be heading over to, you probably can't see it right now, but I'm heading on to MSC World Europa, which is currently positioned over here. And that is going to be the first of many cruise ships for me this year. I am spending the rest of this year, 2023, living on cruise ships and living out at sea. So hopefully you will consider subscribing to the channel and come along for the ride. But yeah, at the moment, I'll sign out from Dubai and get inside. Cheers guys, bye.